Welcome to Happiest Places Home, the interior design channel. If you're into interior design, you'll love it here. I'm Suzanne, an interior designer and your hostess. In this video, I have lookalikes for 5 different brand new items at Pottery Barn. They will be a part of their fall lookbook, but they're only releasing a few pieces at a time, but I was able to uncover these through my Pottery Barn detective work. So I've got the new Pottery Barn item and then the lookalike coming right up for you. After that, I have some fun new things to show you, and we're going to style a console table together, and we'll talk about different interior design tips and tricks. Let's start with the Onyx stone pedestal bowl. Now this is not shown on their website in the new section yet. They're holding it back for the fall lookbook. Now this is 10 inches wide and it's $129. It's got that very natural edge. Sometimes you call it a rough edge, that sort of thing. And it's really beautiful and organic looking. It kind of softens up a lot of lines. And I do have a lookalike for you if you're interested in that. But if you have the budget for the original, that is quite the piece. I found this natural travertine fruit bowl. It's pretty much the same width, just a little wider. And this actually is food safe, while the Pottery Barn pedestal bowl is not. So, and it's half the price, as you can see. And I do like this equally. It just depends on if you wanted that rough edge. And the rough edge items are available on Amazon, but none of them had a pedestal. And there were a lot of different color variations. There's a lot of green onyx that I was seeing. But anyway, you don't have to use this for fruit. You can use it decoratively, but for other types of food stuff as well. So I think this is a really nice pick from Amazon. New at Pottery Barn, we have the Celine embroidered pillow cover. This is 18 by 18. I was surprised because a lot of theirs now are 20 by 20 or more. Doesn't matter. I mean, you need different size pillows. This one is $89.50 and it has beautiful fall colors. It is part of the fall collection. And I'll admit to you, it wasn't easy to find something that was an exact match, but I found something with similar pattern, similar colors, but I feel like the background of the one that I found is a little lighter. So let's take a look. On Amazon, I found a set of 2 20 by 20 pillows, and they do have fall, very beautiful colors. It even was described as fall on the description, and you're getting 2 of these pillow covers for $15.99. So I thought that was such a great deal. Now, it's a good deal whether it looks like the Pottery Barn or not, and you may want the more rusty sort of red than the wine red. Anyway, I don't know, but I spotted these and thought that they would be a nice representation as a look for less. There were other pillows that had more similar colors to the Pottery Barn, but not quite as close of a pattern. So I went with this one. These amber, rusty colored faux dahlias are coming in at $59.50 for 7 stems. These are new for the fall. They're actually calling them yellow, but I didn't put that in the title because I feel like the thing that's yellow is the center. But anyway, I thought these were a pretty fall color. I always prefer ivory or white flowers to tie everything together in your home, and you already know that because I say it all the time. It must be annoying. But for the fall and spring, sometimes it's hard to resist going a little crazy with color. And I thought if you were going to do that, I have such a good idea for you. From Ridley Home, which is a UK company that sells on Amazon, I spotted these burnt orange faux flowers. You receive 10 stems and 2 stems of eucalyptus for $29.99. And one of the reasons why I wanted to show you these is so they're not the same type of flower. These are more of a petite mum in abundance. But when I was trying to find a grand floral display for a recent video to show you an example of the Drew Barrymore table with a huge arrangement on it, the one that I found was on this website, or I'm sorry, from this company on Amazon. So I contacted them and spoke with them about these type of flowers, and they agreed to send me some for the styling of a vase in this video. And you'll see the styling at the end, but I did want to show these to you. It's the same idea as the burnt orange, but in this case, it's 10 stems that are white petite mums. But then the eucalyptus stems in this case are green and would look fantastic with them. But when I style them, I do want sort of a modern, windy look. And I think these are definitely going to do the trick. So you'll see that at the end of the video when we're all styling together. I'm really a fool for the Pottery Barn sage color things. I think you might have remembered how I flipped over a vase back in the day, I don't know, a year ago. But here is the French glaze pumpkin collection. So they look very similar to the French glaze vases and pots that you see. And you're seeing them again in the fall lookbook when you see it. But anyway, these are between $29.50 for the 3 1/4 inch, up to $119 for the 12-inch high piece. And I must tell you, it was very difficult to find something exactly like this. So these are very special and very lovely, but I do have an idea for you. So let's take a look. There are 2 things that are special about these pumpkins that I found on Amazon. So they are a natural wood, and I think standing alone, having nothing to do with the look for less situation. These would be really beautiful in a lot of your homes if you do have that blonde light wood. And they're only $14.99. So, by the way, everything in this video is linked in the description box. If you can't find it, hit more. Now for these, my suggestion is to buy acrylic paint, and you would buy a sage green that looks just like the Pottery Barn, and then perhaps a light nude color, beige. It almost looks flesh toned, and you could paint the bottom of one of them that. But then you would need a clear coat on top, and they sell that too. You can buy it in a spray can, or you can paint it on. And the spray can is easier if you have a spot you can do it where you're not going to ruin things. Don't ever do it close to your house or on a deck because it will stick to it. In fact, the best idea is to walk as far away from your house as you can and put the item in a box and spray into that box and turn your head. I don't think there's any more explanation needed. Most striking is the Parker Leather Task Floor Lamp. It's so special because it does have the leather lampshade, and it looks very unique because it does have the small shade. Now you see these all the time where the shade's metal and they come in different colors, but this one's very different because of the shade. And I couldn't find one exactly like it, but I found a good alternative, which is this floor lamp that has leather going up the bottom, well, whatever. And then the shade is beige. In the darkness, it does look leathery. However, my suggestion to you is you could change this lampshade and put a leather lampshade on it, and then you would have this $450 look for so much less. We are restyling this console table together. Now, I wanted to make an effort to make this a really nice spot. I have a work of art that I'm planning to hang above this. It's not finished yet. And I wanted this part of the house, because it's near the front door, to reflect other areas of the house. So where designs are inside the house, they'll be repeated on this. And one of the things I wanted was a black and white stripe. And that is because it's a repeat of what's going on in other areas of the house. But it's doing so in the most precious and beautiful way, because I love this vase. I spotted it on Amazon. It's by a company called Tor and Tagus. And I was going to put it on my wish list, but I thought, why don't I be bold and reach out and ask if they would want to send it and that I would style with it. I knew exactly where I was planning to put it. And they sent this to me, which is so nice. So this is a gift. And I love it. This will be a focal point on the console table. And it's going to be tied together by the work of art, which I'm going to show you this whole area with this vase also in a future video when the art is hung up. But for now, we're styling the surface. This vase and the flowers, which I referred to earlier from Riddle Lake Home, are going to be the focal point in the design. It's nice to have a focal point or two. I chose this as mine. And then there are many ways to decorate a surface, and the one that I'm going to show you won't be the only one. We're just going to experiment with a bunch of different accessories and hopefully have fun doing it. I'm going to tell you something funny. When I'm decorating something, especially just a plain surface or moving things around, my heart rate goes down so much and I'm so relaxed. So I thought, it might be relaxing for you to watch it too. I don't know, unless I frustrate you in some way. Now, a few things about styling, and that is there are a lot of different styles out there, and everyone has something a little different. Maybe they follow trends, maybe they like a certain traditional look, maybe a certain contemporary look, maybe they're somewhere in between, maybe they like certain colors or lack of colors with neutrals. So everyone's different, but the principles of decorating a surface will all be similar. So what I'm doing right here will probably be different from what you'll be using, but you may end up adopting the style and enjoying it. That's your call. But the important thing to remember is that it's just the principles that we're talking about. Now, some of the things that are great on a console that I'm not using in my design, but I thought it was worth mentioning while you're watching the relaxing flower stem arranging, is trays are excellent. If it's a console, a more slender one is obviously better, and long and slender can work. I'm not using one. I actually don't have one. A lamp is good. I'll refer to that later, but a lamp is nice. There's a little light somewhere in it. If you don't have a lamp, a candle, or you could do sconces, which I will refer to later. And then you could have a lamp and sconces and a candle. But those are elements that won't be in this for the most part because you're not going to see the painting and the sconce yet because they're not up there. Now, books are good. I'll make use of those. A lot of people are using lanterns, which I always think of as an outdoor item, so I don't tend to use it inside, but they're definitely in style. So that's an option. And some people use a catch-all where you can throw your keys and you can throw, you would think coins, but who's going to put coins anywhere anymore? Now, I happen to have drawers on my console, so a lot of the things that you might need to collect on a console without drawers, I don't have to deal with here. But there are a lot of different ways to do it. And the end result of this will just be one, but you'll do the process with me and hopefully that will be fun. As you can see, I really only needed a few of these beautiful stems to have a nice branched out modern look. And I hope that you love them as much as I do. Now that we have our base and the feature piece, which you do need that, then we move on to things we want to add. And this is where the design tips and tricks come in. In every design, it's always nice to have things that are personal to you or that have a cute story or something meaningful. Well, I found this beautiful 1940s antique phone in an antique shop in East Hampton, and it actually has the East Hampton connection on it and the number for this phone in someone's home. So it's, you would call the operator and say, please ring East Hampton 1296 for me, please. And I would imagine that this blares and rings really loudly, but I don't know. Martha Stewart happened to be in that shop, and she was walking out as we were walking in. In fact, they wouldn't let anyone else in while she was in the shop. She got first pick, and then we were first in line after her, and this is what I picked. A framed photo that's personal is always nice to add on a console table. A lot of people would put their wedding photo or a photo of their family, but I wanted to have a photo of the dogs that preceded Lady, that's Gemma and Baxter. So they will be on this display, and it will hug the side of the vase. And in fact, I think I might move it to the other side, and I'll angle it better later. In fact, I'm switching the angle later, but let's move on to other things and see what else we want to do here, because none of this was planned except for the vase and the flowers, and I already had this photo frame on here, and I thought, I'm not moving that from this table. All right, so now I have, let's call them coffee table books, but actually these are recipe and entertaining books. And I like the idea that the spine is white. I used to have so many coffee table books, and when we moved and knew we were moving to a smaller place, I donated so many of them, and I thought, I won't need that. Well, I do. So now here I am using recipe books. Now, I also wanted to incorporate something gold, because you will see some other gold accents here and there in my home, and but forget the fact that it's gold. I also wanted to incorporate a bowl, because a bowl is a nice thing to display near a vase, and I would say also a lamp, but I don't have an electric connection under this table. It's on the opposite side, so I can't put a lamp, but I am going to put sconces on either side of the painting that I'm hanging over this. So now I wanted to add another book. It actually makes much more sense to use 3 books, and I had to go find another one. I'm like rooting through the house. Now, this book was a gift from Dave. He knows I love Jane Austen, so this was upstairs, but I think this could be incorporated here maybe as the gold rather than the bowl. I'm not sure. And this is really special to me, so it's another thing that I thought would look nice here. I'm not sure. It's so thick, but let's see. I think putting it on top of this, the frame will be a little too high. It's going to compete with the main event too much, and it does. So I think I'm going to switcheroo that around. I think trying this here and there, I think we need to decide that this is probably a little too big for this situation. So I think I have some other ideas. It's always nice to have warmth in your display, and the warmth of a candle is lovely. So I'm just going to show you an example of that. And so here's what I would do to style a candle. And the fact that this one has that beautiful lid to sit next to it is so ideal. Now, I hate putting candles next to faux flowers, so I'm just doing this to show you how to style it on the books. But I have a feeling this isn't going to stick in this design exactly. A lot of the times I burn this candle in my living room or in the kitchen anyway. But I just wanted to show you what that looked like, because I do think, you know, if it suits you, maybe you have real flowers, maybe you have something else that's not going to catch fire, it does bring that warmth element, and that's nice and important. Now, the flowers do bring quite a bit of texture, and that's very helpful because we have the slick and stylish nature of the vase, and there is absolutely no texture in here without that Jane Austen novel, and that is exactly what the flowers bring. The painting that's going to go over this will have texture, just like the flowers, so we'll have more texture. I might try out a black book in here to mix it up, but I have a feeling it's a bit too big for this situation. Now, you can open a special book to a certain page. You don't have to have a book holder for that. A lot of people are using those. You really don't need that. You can kind of stack books, and this would even look nice curved. Or if I had a deeper console table, that open book might look nice in front of this frame over here. But I just wanted to show you that as an option. Now I wanted to show you what it looks like with a pedestal bowl, and you've seen this on my dining room table. So I stole it from the dining room for this demonstration. So this is a good example of using perhaps the travertine footed bowl that I showed you earlier with this. Here is my Downton Abbey Edwardian cooking book. I've never made a thing out of that. But I thought a smaller book on top of this might be nice. And I think the black isn't working for me, and it's going to go right back to where it was. And now I've switched the Decorating with Pictures coffee table book. It suits this better, and the other one looks great on that, under that frame. So now I think we have this the way that I would like it. Now I wish I could show you this with the art. And you will see it eventually. Now, let me show you more about this vase, which is so special to me. I feel so grateful to have received this. And there are 3 different vases in this collection. You could get all 3, or you could just get the one that I got. Maybe you like a different size and shape better, but I wanted to make sure I showed you those because it was so generous of Tor and Tagus to send me the vase that I told them I thought was fabulous. Thank you so much. And also thank you to Riddling Home, and they sent 2 sets of these mini chrysanthemums as well as the eucalyptus that comes with it. I couldn't spit that out. So I think these are excellent prices on both items for all of the style you're seeing. Those and everything that you saw in this video, including the Pottery Barn original and the lookalike, are all tagged in this video. If you can't find them, hit more and you'll be able to find the links. So thank you so much for watching. And guys, I'm really excited to see you again next Saturday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time.